I want to look a little closer at the case of IDDS, the International Development Design Summit, which you heard about earlier in the course. Now, these are hands-on design experiences that bring together people from all walks of life to co-create low-cost, practical solutions that improve the lives of people living in poverty. People come together, they learn the design process, and then they practice this design process, producing prototypes that are designed to solve a particular challenge. Now, these prototypes themselves often have impact. One team at IDDS 2014 in Tanzania set out to try to increase the incomes of avocado farmers in Leguruki. Avocados ripen and go bad all at once, and so it's hard to fetch a good price for them in the market. So they were setting out a way to preserve avocados and get a higher price for these farmers. So they produced an avocado oil press, a few early prototypes, and then after the summit was over, Jesse, who was from that village where they were working, the village of Leguruki, he continued to iterate on this prototype. And a few years later ended up launching this business, Avumeru. They just opened their first factory, and they're working with over 2,000 avocado farmers throughout northern Tanzania to source the avocados that can be used to produce oil for cosmetics and for cooking that they're now able to distribute across East Africa. That's a really great example of the impact that a product of the design process could have. But there are other kinds of impact as well. Here's a story of Bernard Kiwia, who was inspired through his participation in IDDS by the design process. So inspired, in fact, that he wanted to teach this process in the community where he was from. And so he started Twende, which is a social innovation center and makerspace in Arusha, Tanzania, which has at this point taught over 500 students, farmers, and entrepreneurs the design process, effectively sparking hundreds of new design processes and introducing new people to the ability to identify and solve challenges in their own contexts. In some cases, knowledge or skills that are learned in the process of participatory design are brought to bear on different products in later design processes. That's what happened in the case of Mwana Harusi Goha. She participated on a team that designed a pedal-powered coffee sheller at IDDS 2014 in Tanzania. After the summit was over, she went back to her village of Morogoro, and she took that new knowledge of understanding bicycle mechanisms and working with bicycle parts, and she modified a different technology, a palm oil press, so that it would be pedal-powered. The press she's now using can actually press oil 8 times faster than the traditional method, and she's using it to run a business out of her home and producing oil for others in her village. That's a great example of a skill learned during the process that could be used in a different process entirely, on a different product. And here's another example in that same vein. Chebet Lasan also participated in IDDS 2014 in Tanzania. And there she met Betty Ikalan, who you met earlier in the course, who had developed a charcoal briquette business out of agricultural waste. Chebet was so inspired by this connection, and that connection they made was so strong, that Chebet went back to Kenya and decided to found her own social venture called Bright Green Renewable Energy. Bright Green actually uses urban waste from Nairobi to produce clean-burning charcoal briquettes. So this is a great example of a connection or a relationship that inspired a new product or venture. And actually, Betty, to this day, is a great mentor of Chebet's. So as we can see, the impact of the products are really important. They're essential. It's why we do the design process to begin with, to solve a problem. But if we had only focused on the impact of the products and the prototypes that came out of IDDS, then we would have missed the new knowledge and skills and mindsets that the participants gained. We would have missed the new products and ventures that came about as a result of those new knowledge, skills, and mindsets. And we also would have missed cases like Bernard's, where taking the process and bringing it to others, teaching it to others, and exposing more people to the process of participatory design could actually kick off hundreds or maybe thousands of more design processes.